Hi guys, so we're actually in the middle of taking and researching an articulated Python video, and I had the idea to do a video on my experience versus the scientific research based on Kratom and tardive dyskinesia, which is the neurological disorder I have that makes me shake. My medicine's been increased and it's lessened a lot, and my stressors have decreased a lot too, so it's not as bad. But zipping things up and tying and all that's still kind of difficult, I'll be honest with you. So the article was written by Methawasin, and it's called Kratom Withdrawal Induced Orobuccal Dyskinesia. So I'm just going to tell you my experience because I have TD, and I did use Kratom for 6 years, and I did withdraw from Kratom while currently being diagnosed with TD. So the timeline. When I was 13, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is often treated with antipsychotics, and they wanted to treat me with one, but my mother was too concerned that it would cause a movement disorder, tardive dyskinesia, so early on in life, and so she got me on a mood stabilizer. And some time passed. My mood was still all over the place, still having up and downs. My teenage life was very erratic and very manic and very depressed, and it was terrible. I feel bad for my parents, basically. Age 22, I tried to flip my car off the side of Gene Snyder, the freeway, in Kentucky, because I had gone off my medicine, and without my medicine with bipolar disorder, I tend to become suicidal and depressed. But I'm well medicated now. I have like 5 different pharmacists that check on me, so I don't want anybody to worry about me now. I have like 5 different pharmacists that check on me all the time. They call me every week to ask me about my antipsychotic that I'm taking now, versus the one they gave me when I was 22, which was Geodon. And Geodon is according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, date written was January 24th, or it was last reviewed. Geodon is a second-generation antipsychotic. It was released to the United States in 2001, when it hit the market, and it is known, general common knowledge, that antipsychotics cause tardive dyskinesia. That's what my mother was worried about when I was 13. So years go by, and we hit age 28. And at this is the time I stopped all major drug usages. No heroin, no meth, no cocaine, no nothing like that, nothing serious. No alcohol, no weed. But I was having trouble with my cravings, so I turned to Kratom. And I stayed on Kratom, I would say successfully, off the streets for almost 6 years. Until one day, I went to the smoke shop to buy the Kratom, and the Kratom guy, or not the Kratom guy, the smoke shop guy handed me a box, and he said, "Do you want to try this? It's Kratom." And I was like, "It's Kratom?" It had a different name. It said like hydroxy, and I was like, "What's the difference?" And he said, "It's just Kratom, just strong." It's like, okay. So I started taking that, but it wasn't just like taking a tablespoon of Kratom. I started heavily abusing hydroxy. I was already heavily abusing Kratom, and I had noticed, I hadn't put the two dots together, but I had noticed that as the Kratom usage increased, my TD worsened. I was shaking like this violently. I couldn't use the computer keys. Sometimes I still can't. Sometimes I have to press the backspace button every single word I hit. Every single letter I hit, I have to push the backspace button to fix the word and retype the word. So like I said, I started heavily taking Kratom around age 20, around age 31, and a TD was diagnosed also at 31. So we have about 9 years of solid usage of Geodon, and a little bit average to 10. So between 9 to 10 uses of Geodon, 9 to 10 years of straight usage on Geodon, non-broken. And as I said, Geodon is the second generation. In second generation, the older ones have the worst side effects, more likely to cause side effects, like tardive dyskinesia. Antipsychotics are the most known medication type to cause tardive dyskinesia. It's just common knowledge, and my mother used to work for hospice. She said all the old people that were ever on antipsychotics always had TD. And if you're on antipsychotics, eventually they say it always comes for you. But now I'm on a 4th generation antipsychotic called Caplyta, which I'm told by my psychiatrist has much less chance to increase muscle movements. I should probably explain what tardive dyskinesia is, but I think it's well known on this channel because my tremors have been seen. But it's rapid muscle movements in the face, the mouth, the eyes, and in mine, it was so bad. It was my limbs, it was my feet. When I would drive, my foot would go off the on and off the pedals, really dangerous, and that's eventually why I stopped driving. But we're going to get back to the heavy usage of hydroxy, because this is when the problem really blossomed, and why I ended up in rehab in the first place, where the problem really became a severe issue with Kratom. Because with Kratom, I was just skating by, just playing video games, drinking Big Red every day. But hydroxy is addicting. One tablet of hydroxy, it's $40 for a 10-pack of hydroxy. And one tablet is about like a dose or like a shot of heroin. Like, that's what it feels like. So I was going through 7 of those a day. 7 tablets. That's about $40, give or take, a day. And I realized that on my boyfriend's, at the time boyfriend, his bank account, we couldn't cover that. And so I went into rehab, voluntarily. When I got to rehab, what this article is really centered about is the withdrawal process on antipsychotics from Kratom itself, and how horrible the TD is mimicked or becomes or is seen in patients withdrawing from Kratom that are diagnosed with TD. Patients that don't have TD, when they're coming off Kratom, they have TD symptoms coming off Kratom. When I was coming off Kratom, I couldn't even bring a cup to my mouth in the rehab. People were having to hold cups to my mouth to get me to drink water, coffee, juice. I was falling over. I couldn't hold myself straight. I was falling over. I would fall backwards. They had to put my bed on the floor because I rolled off the bed and I couldn't get off the floor. And the withdrawal from it, I guess because I have been on it so long, I don't know what the general process of withdrawal is for Kratom, but keep in mind I've been on it for 6 years, and then on top of the hydroxy and the neurological disorder itself, TD, my withdrawal lasted about 2 weeks of severe shaking. They even brought me aside into the nurse's office once and said, are you really not able to feed or take care of yourself? Like, can you really not hold cups up to your mouth? And I was like, people help me, and they're like, well, if you can't do it yourself, we're going to have to get rid of you because you need a higher level of care than this rehab is able to provide. And that scared me because I really wanted to be there. I wanted to get off Super Kratom, and I was doing really good. My greatest failure in rehab was not that I wanted to get high, but it was that I wanted to take care of the detoxers more than I wanted to take care of myself. I'm a really caring person, and I was sharing rooms with the detoxers because of my TD, and I was having such a horrible withdrawal. They wanted to have me under camera at all times. We're reaching 10 minutes, so I'm about to finish this up, but I can verify my own personal experience, and as pointed out in this article, that withdrawal from Kratom does not only mimic TD, it worsens TD. It is in itself TD. It makes your mouth become an unmovable. Just, I move it a lot already because I take Ingrezza, not the high Veluza or whatever one you always see on TV, but I take Ingrezza. It's an more expensive one. And it took most of it away, but it's still present. I'm much happier today, and I'm still on disability for it because I can't perform normal working tasks, like at a job. Like, when I was working at Panera, they would talk behind my back because I couldn't make a sandwich in less than 5 minutes, and I made a mess, my hands were shaking, and they'd say, why are her hands shaking so bad? Or they'd be 2 feet away from me, they'd be like, why are her hands shaking so bad? Or like, why is it taking her so long? Or like, is there something wrong with her? And I told them that I had suspicion that my medicine was making my hands shake. But it wasn't until I was diagnosed with tardive dyskinesia when I was 31. I'm almost 33, so when I was 31, that I really understood the depth of what was going on with my body. TD is a naturally worsening disorder, and it's in the brain. It's neurological. I'm set to see a private neurologist that specializes in movement disorders like Parkinson's and types of TD, because there are multiple types. But overall, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to draw a really nice picture for y'all, a bunch of leaves and everything, but I just wanted to get this out here because my mom reminded me of this article, and having undergone the HOBOKEN withdrawal, I was reminded of the heroin withdrawal, and I thought to myself, how relevant was that article today? And who else out there uses Kratom and has experienced the same thing? How many people like me are there that have TD and have had to withdraw from Kratom at the same time? So I thought I had a unique perspective, and I wanted to share it with you all today. That's all I got. I didn't say hi, this is Darwin, so I'm going to say bye, this is Darwin. See ya.